What up? This is Robert Horry.
Or three-pointer. Buries it!
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Horry for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Horry from downtown.
What's up, motherfucker?
That's what I'm saying. Woo! Let's call this, what is this, episode 207. We're just running the clicker on this show here. It's Big Shot Bob podcast. B-Dog Brandon Harper. I'm Rob Jenners. That is seven-time NBA champion. Robert. Robert Horry. We were hearing a story before we started about a buddy of yours whose son's middle name is Horry.
Yes.
Which I just think, and it was, did he know you when he named this kid, or he hadn't met you yet?
No, he hadn't met me yet.
Oh,
he was a
God.
huge fan, and I didn't know this until I met him, and he's like, I got to tell you something. And he says, my son's name is Milo Horry. And Milo was the coolest kid ever, man. Really good. Hey, you know, at 2-3 years old, you put someone on, you play T-ball, and it was at his house, and like, you put the ball, I mean, he's smacking it like, bam. But, most kids that hit the stick.
Yeah.
Whatever you call the thing that holds the ball on top.
T.
Yeah, the T.
Hence
and
T-ball.
he doesn't hit the T. He hits straight, and he's like, bam. I mean, like he has a future.
Good.
I'm putting the pressure on him early.
Daddy's
player.
an agent, so he's already like, yeah, kiddo.
Yeah.
I'll get it. Well, my goodness, there's a lot going on.
Yes.
I will once again.
I'm kind of glad we waited one day.
I know, because otherwise we would have had a post-credit show for the ages because like about what would have been about 40 minutes after I would have hit post on the show that would have went up on Tuesday, the Nuggets fired Mike Malone, which literally I went, no, that's bullshit. Like I saw it pop up, I was like, that ain't real. And then I started digging. It was like Shams reported it, and I was like, oh, damn, like this might be legit. I dug in a little bit on this, and I haven't read a ton on it, but apparently him and the GM didn't have a great relationship, and they've announced too that they're not renewing the GM either. But I'm yet again, and this is like a retread of the Taylor Jenkins conversation. 3 games before the playoffs start, you're in the thick of it. You're right. I think they're the 4 seed right now, but I mean they could be the 3 seed. They could be anywhere in that.
They could be the 8 seed.
They could be the 8. They could be in the play-in. And Mike Malone, by the way, won a title, 5 minutes ago with them? It was 2 years ago, but it feels like 5 minutes ago.
2022, 2023.
Yeah, 22-23, because then it was the Celtics last year. But, there's something here that I feel like we just don't know. But that's really weird.
It's super weird because you think they've lost 4 in a row, but Jamal Murray's out. He's been out with a hamstring injury, and then all of a sudden you fire this guy that he just blinked and won the championship. I'm like, what the hell, man? It's the NBA they're so trendy. They'll follow the leaders, man. You see what happened with Jenkins in Memphis. You're like, okay, follow the leader. I guarantee you Mike Malone already got like 18 teams right now. So, hey, can you come coach for us? And I guarantee he ends up in San Antonio. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm saying that's a strong possibility.
I like
next
that,
year,
though.
He will be
that
coaching
fit.
the San Antonio Spurs because you think about his attitude, it's comparable to Pop's attitude. So I figured, we use an asshole, so bring another asshole in here. So,
and I don't think Mike is an asshole. I think he's a bit of an asshole to the media. You know what I mean? Like, because he doesn't like the nonsense questions he gets sometimes.
Yeah, like Pop.
And that's very true. It's very reminiscent of Pop. But I struggled with this one though. Calvin Booth, by the way, is the GM. They're announced they're not renewing his deal. They fired Mike. The Nuggets are 47-32, 4th in the Western Conference standings right now. Booth has been 48 years old. He's been with them since 2017. He's been the GM since 2020. So him and Malone, and I've read, and I don't know how much validity is to this because it's just what you're reading reports, but that him and Malone were just they fought on a lot of stuff and didn't necessarily have a great relationship. But I bet you could probably say that about most coaches and GMs. I feel like there's probably a majority of which will fight with their GM on stuff.
Yeah, I think there was something. I think this had been brewing for a while, and I guess they just decided according to the report, to go ahead and get it over with. But it's a classic case of if a coach who just won a title not too long ago can get fired, and then you had Taylor Jenkins, who has the Grizzlies in the playoffs right now, can get fired. No coach is safe. Because here's the thing. Management has just as big of an ego as the coaches do and the players do. So when the philosophies don't match up or you're clashing with someone in the management, well, their ego is going to set in, and guess what? Your ego versus their ego is always going to win because they signed the checks. So the Nuggets ain't been playing well lately. Now, I don't think that warranted him being fired.
No.
But they had lost I don't know if they were 4-7 in their last
it hasn't been
11 or something like that.
It hasn't been great.
And I don't know if losing the locker room was something that Mike Malone was doing, because he was getting on a lot of his players, and a lot of his guys just didn't look. They weren't playing defense the way they're used to playing it, and they weren't. All of that, cool. I don't think it warranted him being fired, because what does that say to every other coach around the league? What the man just won a title for?
They don't care what every other coach around the league thinks.
No, they don't. But what I'm saying is, I think that sends a message to a lot of other coaches around the league. It don't matter what you do. It really does not matter what you do and how successful you are. There's no other reason, at least I believe, that you would fire Mike Malone. There's some egos that got involved here. Somebody didn't like something. Somebody frustrated with somebody, because it's not the results on the floor speak for themselves. He just won you a title.
Yeah.
In the franchise history, he just won your first title. He was one of the winningest coaches over a certain span of time in the NBA.
And you have arguably one of, if not the best player in the NBA on your roster. So a coach with experience, with pedigree, with a championship under his belt 2 years ago, by the way. This wasn't a Doc Rivers title. This wasn't a 2008, we're going to ride this Joker as long as we can. This was 2 years ago. And consistently, Jokic is an MVP candidate. Consistently. When Murray's healthy, he's outstanding. But again, though, you're right, B, I think you're right. There has to be an ego trip here somewhere. Because 3 games before the playoffs is even more so egregious than what the Grizzlies did to Taylor Jenkins. Which is nuts, which is already crazy. So,
but when you think about power from a player's perspective, he probably has, meaning Jokic, probably has the most power because he's playing above and beyond any other player in the league consistently. And I'm just going to assume and speculate he must have pissed Joker off somehow, some way, because there's no way ownership doesn't go to Joker and be like, yo, we think about making this move. I know it's late in the season, and we got a great opportunity to make a run for the title. So you think about I know everybody said, what about AD? AD ain't Joker. He ain't getting MVPs like Joker. Luka ain't Joker. It's a new ownership order, so it's totally different. And I think that, to me, if I'm on the outside and I want to be going, things that make you go, you think about it. I'm going to get y'all opinion on this. Do you think ownership went to Joker and said, hey, we're going to make these moves right here? And Joker's like, okay, I'm going to just go play with my horses. What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't. This is weird. It's really, really weird. I mean, you could probably speculate pretty much anything of why all of this went down, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went to Joker and probably mentioned it. But ain't nobody safe. If Mike Malone is not safe, ain't nobody safe.
There's only one guy that's safe, and he's sick right now.
That's it. But he's the last of
the safe
that kind.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching somebody I forget who said it, but this is the last of the coaches like Jerry Sloan staying somewhere for 20 some odd years and all of that time. That's the last of that. Now, what's his name down in Miami?
Spoelstra.
Spoelstra's been with that organization from the bottom up. And he may be the last of that. And I don't know how much longer he going to stay in Miami. So that's the last of the regime of guys, of coaches staying very long. Because like I said, if you stay 4 or 5 years as a head coach, that's a long time.
How long Steve Kerr been coaching the Warriors?
Well, that's another one.
He's been there a hot minute. 10,
Well, he's going to be there as
years?
long as Steph's there.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, to your point about management going to Joker, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they gave him a heads up, but I don't know if they necessarily went looking for his blessing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, ultimately, management doesn't care. You know, I mean, it's if they were going to make this move the way they were going to make this move, I think you're right, Rob. Jokic was like, as long as I get to play with my horses, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Like, and that was the other thing. Since Ron Joker, that's the other big rumor now. Does he ask for a trade? Does he want out now? Because you're going to be bringing in a new voice, obviously somebody that's going to be new to the locker room or somebody that's there already. And your coaching philosophy is going to hit a little bit of a reset. Do you think Joker asks out of Denver?
Well, I think it all is going to depend on who they bring in there, because it got to be someone he agrees to.
So this is all going to run through him, basically, right?
Yeah, it's going to all run through him. But you got to think about it. He has, it's not like he has 1, 2, 3 more years. He has 3 years left on his contract. And so he got 26, 27, and 28. And 28, he's going to be making $62 million. So it's not like he got 1 or 2 years left. Well, with 1 year left, and he's going to be a free agent. He got 3 years left where he's going to be a free agent.
And he's got some beefy numbers on the back end of that contract.
So it's going to be really interesting. Because think about it. You talking about a sweepstakes. If that mug said he wants to be out of there, people going to say, here's my next born.
Yeah.
You can give me whatever you want. You
can have the whole first round. Go crazy.
Yeah.
You get every pick. Yeah.
You think about that, though. Say, okay, whoever gets the first pick in the year, it's like, okay, I give you Cooper Flag for Joker.
That's
Joker's
not even
happy.
comparable. That's not even. We're going to talk about Cooper Flag later, but that's not even comparable. But I guess you're right. I guess it's going to come down to, is he happy with what they put in place?
Exactly.
Now, is he going to be happy with anything? Because I don't know if he's as invested as maybe, because we've talked about this 100 times. He's exceptionally great at the game. He plays with passion.
Yeah.
But he's got this sort of nonchalant kind of like, as long as I get to go home and have horses, I don't care. Kind of off the court attitude. So I think as long as the paychecks are coming and they're good, I don't know if he really has that much of a vested interest on, I don't want to play here. No, I feel like he's just going to ride it out and get his deal. And then when he's up for free agency, he's probably going to look around and go, who wants to pay me? And just see what kind of money comes in.
Yeah.
But that's a wild situation, man. Do you want to talk about Luka's ejection last night real quick?
Nah.
Okay.
It was.
I mean, we're going to mention the playoff standings right now because the Lakers are kind of in the thick of it. I just brought it up because it was kind of all over the place today. A little
it's
weird.
Just so weird. I worked that game.
I don't know what the hell
night.
he said to the ref, but
He said to He said to the fan sitting next to it, something PUSSY.
Okay.
And then the ref turned as he was saying P word,
and he thought it was directed at him.
It's right.
Oh.
He was, because it was like Vando had the best perspective. He said that when Luka came to defend him, the referee's named TJ, I think, that he gave Luka a tech and he says there's some animosity between the two, so it was a quick one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Lakers are sitting at the 3, I believe, right now.
3 spot.
And 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all exactly
It's
one
crazy.
game back.
It
So
is
you
crazy.
here's where you're at. And I want to talk about this because it's kind of wild. 3 games to go. You've got the Nuggets, the Warriors, who, by the way, are now 20-2 when Jimmy and Steph are in the lineup, thanks to Robert Horry. Because you called that a long time ago. The Clippers, the Timberwolves, and the Grizzlies are all tied. Just sitting there. This is going to come down to the last 3 games to see how the entire West shakes out, which I think is great for the NBA. It's like playoffs before the playoffs. It's freaking awesome. And I went and looked at everybody's schedule just to kind of see like where everybody's at. So what are the Lakers' last three? You probably know this off the top of your head. Where are they? They got at the Mavs.
You got Mavs tonight. Then you got Rockets, and then you have the best team in the league, Portland Trailblazers.
The Portland Trailblazers.
They've been playing better than anybody in the league right now.
Okay, all right, well, good for them. They're not
Portland
even in the conversation. Okay, good for them. So Mavs should be interesting. Rockets should be interesting. I think that goes down to what is Houston going to put out there.
Yes.
Now that they're clinched up and they're good to go at the 2 seed. I looked at everybody else's schedule. So Denver, their last three. They're at Sacramento. They're versus the Grizzlies, and then they're at Houston. Golden State's last three. They're versus San Antonio, at Portland, and then versus the Clippers. The Clippers' last three. Versus Houston, at Sacramento, at Golden State. Minnesota, at Memphis, versus the Nets, versus the Jazz. That's the easiest one of them all right there, man. Their last two are dubs. And then Memphis is versus Minnesota, at Denver, and then versus Dallas. So amongst those 5 that are all locked up right there, they've got a few games against each other within there. So that's going to sort of shake up the seeding a little bit, a little wild. For the Lakers, from your perspective, from the Lakers, of that grouping of teams, who would you prefer to see in the postseason?
Memphis.
Okay.
Memphis, because Memphis, the Clippers, but it's gonna be hard because you think about people who match up well with the Lakers, and Memphis is one of the teams I don't really pretty much worry about because they do a lot of dumb stuff. They're not a very smart team, and they got a new coach. I'm not worried about Denver because of the turmoil. Even though you got Joker, and I don't think Murray's
I still worry about Denver.
But they said Murray's not going to come back to like maybe the second or third round of the playoffs if they make it that far.
Okay.
And then when you come back as a hamstring, how in shape are you going to be? You know what I mean? And so it's just hard for me. And the Clippers have been playing really, really well. Freaking Kawhi played in the back-to-back. He's averaging 20 points.
I know.
So it's a lot of guys to worry about. But I think if the Lakers put out a healthy bunch, I think they can get to the I think they can get to the NBA Finals to really look at it because there's no really team I really, really worry about. There's nobody that scares me, so I should say.
Okay. Harper?
I think all this comes down to the Lakers and what Lakers team you're going to get, and what Lakers defense is going to look like because we know they can score the ball. There was a stretch where the Lakers were one of the best defensive teams in the league. Are you going to get that Lakers team? Or are you going to get the Lakers team relatively of late where it's like you losing these games to the Bulls and stuff like these games that I don't want to say you shouldn't lose, but in a way you kind of shouldn't lose. It just depends on, I think it just depends on more so of what Lakers team you're going to get than the actual opponent. I know it's a game of matchups, but we've seen when this team plays well and they lock in, they can pretty much beat anybody. So I think it depends on them. I don't necessarily want to see. I would love to see the Clippers. I don't know if I really want to see them because the Lakers have played them better, but they've had their number over a longer period of time. And if Kawhi is healthy and with James Harden is doing, they can run the floor really well. And the Lakers ain't on their P's and Q's. They can run them up out the gym. Memphis will probably be the best just for the simple fact that I think they're the easiest of all the teams you just named. But I think it just depends on what Laker team you get. It all depends on if the Lakers want to show up to play, no team can beat them. If they don't, we could go get 2 other people and we could beat them.
Well, and for me too, a team that's missing a captain. You know what I mean? Teams that are in disarray to an extent, and I'm going to lump Denver in there to go into the postseason without a head coach, without a true head coach, even if it's an interim guy. I don't like that. No matter how good your players are, no matter how good your system is, it just disrupts things. Same thing with Memphis. You're coming in without clear direction from the head coaching position. Now, does that matter? Like, players can are going to play their game, whether they get that direction or not. But give me a team all day that maybe is a little confused, that maybe hasn't practiced a new system that's being installed 3 games before the postseason. Yeah. I'll take that.
You want me to tell you one team that is pretty, I guess you could say the worst injuries could have happened to them, and I would have been afraid for the Lakers to face them, was Dallas.
Yes.
Because of their size in the front court. Because they literally have 3 guys in the front court to the Lakers 1, maybe 2 from a matchup standpoint. And if Kyrie was healthy, it would have been, I think if that was ever a first-round matchup, I don't think the Lakers want them issues.
So Mark,
it'd be so emotional for Luka. He'd probably get about 3 or 4 ticks.
Mark Cuban said that too. He was on with Stephen A. He had this to say.
The truth is, between AD, Derek Lively, and Derek Gafford, that's the best big three in the NBA. But Luka Doncic is a generational talent. So
he asked him about Luka and how he feels. Now, to Cuban's point, yeah. You know what I mean? With a healthy Kyrie and a nice little lineup like that, okay.
Yeah.
Dallas could make some noise, and they've played better. They've played better recently. So, but, you question how healthy is AD. Will he be able to carry this into the postseason? So we'll see. A lot of weird stuff. I wanted to play you one really quick piece of audio too, which I thought was weird, from the Golden State Warriors broadcast. This was after I'm sure you know what I'm going to play, right? This was after the first game of the Lakers Thunder, where Shea didn't go to the line once. And they thought that so clearly officiating is getting tipped in the direction of the LA Lakers, according to the Warriors.
One thing, we could talk about it, fans could talk about it. When you get into the playoffs, officiating matters. The Lakers went into Oklahoma City, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander did not shoot a free throw, okay? In a home game for a guy who averages 11 free throws a game. Then you have a game like tonight, Draymond Green's fouls are going to have an impact on this game, and apparently when you shoot a layup, it's a wind-up now.
Yeah, so that was after the Draymond wind-up BS from the other night, where he got teched for winding up on I don't know if it was a rebound or a shot or whatever the hell it was. So the officiating matter somehow tipped in the direction of the Lakers, but going against the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, people be full of shit. You see all those calls Steph got the other night, so stop it. It depends on the crew you get.
That's such a homer take, though.
Yeah.
They get all the calls, we don't get any. I'm like, you could take that voice and put it in any fan base. And the fan base is screaming the same thing. They get all the calls, and we don't get any calls.
Yeah, I want to say this one thing about Stu, who calls the Laker game. He call it like it is. He'd be like, "Nah, that's some bullshit for the Lakers. That's some bullshit for the other team." He just calls it like it is. And I think he's one of the best, Stu Lance, because if most people respect that, because I think sometimes we forget fans are smart, and some fans, and they watch the game and they can see what's going on. You're like, you can clearly see that wasn't a foul. You can clearly see it was a foul or whatever it may be. And I think when announcers just call it like it is, it's cool. But if you're on radio, you can say what the hell you want to say because nobody can see it, so you can lie your ass off.
Nobody cares. Yeah. All right, let's just tip of the hat to Florida and UConn. Your national champions, men's and women's. Why are you shaking your head?
Duke pissed this whole thing away.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That BS at the end of the Houston game.
It really should have been
one of the dumbest ends to a game I could ever remember seeing.
Look, I'll say this, and I'm going against my bracket. One of my brackets, I did have Florida winning it all. But I'm talking, this is a heart thing now. I don't care about mine and all that up here. This should have been Duke, Auburn in the national title game.
Auburn did not play well in that game, man.
They didn't, and that's their fault.
So it shouldn't have been. It should have been Duke, Florida. Florida played better.
Okay. And Duke, Florida, Duke, whatever. I would have preferred to see Duke, Auburn.
Oh, you're talking about preference. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But Duke for sure pissed this whole thing away. They should have been in the national championship game when you're up. What were
I think they were up
12,
11 or
13.
something, 12 or 11 points with a couple minutes left or something. Yeah.
I'm
They
sitting
were
there.
up 6 with
Yeah.
30 seconds or something, 48
36
seconds,
seconds. Yeah,
36.
yeah.
Yeah. It was like to the point where it was almost absurd. It was getting into Falcons Super Bowl territory where I was like, there's no way. There's no way this is
Ridiculous.
happening. There's no way this is happening.
They went on a 5-minute stretch where they scored nothing.
10 minutes. One
No,
basket.
it was 5.
No, 10
Oh,
minutes.
10 and one basket.
Yeah, it was,
one
it was
basket.
1 point even.
But it was
wasn't even a
half of
basket.
that
It was
stretch
one
where they
damn
didn't
point.
score anything. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm at the bar watching this game, and I'm like, they're going to piss this away. That Houston defense started to put the clamps on them, and I said, they're going to lose this game. And sure enough, here they go.
But I mean, look, I got no love for Duke. I don't care.
I'm like, why you mad at Duke pissed it off? It's their fault. They can't blame nobody but themselves. This is what I'm gonna say.
And I got news for you, by the way, not to cut you off, Rob. I don't know if it would have been a better game because we got a pretty damn good national.
Oh, we got a good one.
Came
Yeah,
down to
true.
the last play of the game. So.
Yeah,
Right.
So I said this goes to show you how when you play a tough schedule, because Houston played a tougher schedule than Duke. So now Duke played this damn cupcake schedule. And don't get me wrong, I know they have to because of ACC and all this.
Yeah, you got to play who's on here. Yeah.
But it comes down to when you get challenged during the season, can you draw on past memories and say, how do I overcome this new challenge? Duke had no challenge they could, pull from. Think about it. They blew most everybody out, average point, but they averaged 15 points of every victory. And so then let's credit, like I tell people all the time, that sometimes we look at a team that we think should win and say, oh, they did these things to lose. How about we look at a team that's just as good and be like, no, they did these things to win? Because you think of that last play, he clamped up Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
They, like you just said, they clamped up because when that pressure's on, you know what? Let's pick up this defense. Let's do what we need to do to win. So I was looking at this game like, okay, Duke is killing it. And all of a sudden, the switch went on, and they freaking started playing more physical because they were like, oh, we can lose this fucking game, man. The time is ticking. We got to amp this up. And it's like, why couldn't you do that in the first half? Then nobody was saying, oh, Duke this. But
it was a combination of Duke pissing it away, and then Houston taking it from them.
Yeah.
True. So true.
I mean, you got to give credit. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head who stole the inbound at the end of the game, because that really is what changed the whole thing. Making the big shot in that moment, okay, that's cool. But now you got to steal the inbound, and somehow you let that man get in front of you and steal an inbound pass.
Yeah.
And kick it out and hit another three. Like that.
And then, they could have called a foul on Cooper Flag when he got the tip dunk. They could have called that foul. Yeah. So it was a bunch of things that was, but I'm happy. Like, you know what I wish Duke would have won, in the sense of that now you have to look at everybody's like, think about all the kids, all Porter. When you look at the roster now, it's not like a high school. It's like, oh, he's coming from New Mexico. Oh, he's coming from UCLA. Oh, he's coming from LSU. And then when you looked at Duke's roster, it's like freshman. And that's the only reason that I kind of wanted Duke to win, even though it hurts me to say that, because they say, oh, we did it by, recruiting out of high school and not this portal shit that's getting out of hand.
Well, I mean, their biggest challenge, I thought, was going to be Alabama.
I did.
And that wasn't the case.
I saw the way Alabama
like,
shot the ball. I'm like, nah. That next game, I said they're gonna get fat blasted. I'm like, because anytime someone shoot that damn good, they get overconfident. They think they killers of the world, and the basketball guys be like, no, we're gonna bring you back down to earth. We're gonna let you get your head bashed in.
You were there for this, weren't you? Were you in San Antonio for this? Didn't you go to San Antonio for the Final Four?
Mm-hmm. I was there. I didn't stay for the game though. I watched part of it, then I left. I had to catch a flight because I had to work the game last night.
Okay.
OKC.
All right. Yeah. So, did you run into any like Charles or anybody? Because I know they were all there.
No, I ran into Dream and Clyde. And
Dream was there, by the way.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Dream in a hot minute. It is.
They almost didn't let Dream on the floor.
Yeah, I saw that too. They didn't want him on the floor. And I'm like, guys, do you know who this is? Stop.
No, you forget. Hey, last time Gene was in that building, he made David Robinson look like a 2-year-old.
That's right.
So that's probably why they still was hating on him.
Oh, sorry, sir. I ask because obviously with Auburn in the mix, Chuck was there. They had all that stuff. He did an appearance. Now, I didn't hear any of it on TV, Harper. I know you were hoping for Chuck taking shots at the San Antonio women during the Final Four broadcast. Didn't happen, but it happened at one of the live events. He was getting off stage at the end of this event he was doing, and he gives this little...
Thank you. And yes, y'all got some big bitches here.
And why are they cheering?
Wow.
Why are they cheering? All the men are like, yeah! And it's like, yeah, you're sleeping on the couch tonight, buckaroo. Dylan Cardwell of the Auburn Tigers had this to say.
I love San Antonio. San Antonio Spurs, you want to draft your boy. I love San Antonio. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the women that Charles Barkley was talking about, but I do. I love San Antonio. I think San Antonio is a great place. Like I said, Spurs, if you're out there, let me know.
He's lobbying for a draft pick, but and there's God bless the women of San Antonio because they all got shirts of like all these beautiful San Antonio women like Chuck doesn't know what he's talking about, like Chuck's big bitches and stuff, and they're all like super hot. So yeah, no, they're embracing it. But yeah, of course, Chuck had to get his dig in, man.
Yeah, Chuck it's funny though. I'm like, dude, stop it.
Just knock it off. I do want to give a quick nod, by the way, to the Hall of Fame inductees this year. I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound or anything, but we did have the official announcement of who's getting in this year. Carmelo, of course. Dwight Howard gets the nod. Maya Moore, Sue Bird, Sylvia Flowers. Danny Crawford, a ref, gets in. Billy Donovan gets in as a coach. And Mickey Harrison gets in as an executive. So, not a bad class.
Danny Crawford?
Yeah. As a ref, I should say.
Yeah.
But not
shout out to Dwight.
Yeah, Dwight.
I always knew he would get in first.
I wasn't 100% sold on the whole first ballot Hall of Famer thing for him.
Why not?
I don't, because we've had this conversation 100 times, but then somebody posted like, here's Dwight's resume just for the sake of putting it up, and it's mad impressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think maybe it's just because there's a perception of Dwight late in his career as not, but I mean, early Dwight though, I mean, as dominant as anybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, was it 3 straight Defensive Player of the Years? So when you really run his resume down, you're like, oh yeah, shit. You know, just because he never got there and he never made it happen doesn't necessarily mean he wasn't just as good as he could have been in the years he played. So.
You think he was a tip? He might have been with a tip dunk in, not him, but the lob that it was missed and they lost the game to the Lakers. You know, probably. You know, I know that's just one game, but who knows? It could have swung the confidence a certain way. They might have won a championship. Who knows?
Yeah, I know. But so anyway, not a bad class. But we're going to continue to lobby for you. We're going to continue to do what we can to tout the carry the flag for Robert Horry, and maybe get Rudy T back on stage at some point and have the lobby for some folks. But hopefully you're back in the mix next year. I keep looking. By the way, this is how stupidly obsessed I am with this. I keep digging in on like who's eligible next year, what's the ballot going to look like, who's on the committee that votes on this. I'm like we're gonna find some inroads to try and help get this done. I don't know how, but we're gonna figure it out.
And I'm going on a world tour.
Something, dude. Get on a PR tour. So I'm gonna book you a guest booker, get you on some shows. I don't know. I did want to
putting out all my stats, high school, college.
Go, dude. Put it out there, man. Put it out there. Run down that Dwight Howard-esque resume. I want to see it. I did want to mention we do not talk about hockey on this show. Why would we? None of us really follow it. But
Alex
Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's all-time scoring record in the NHL. Which is pretty unbelievable. I'm going to just play it for you because even though I'm not a hockey guy, this is still one of those things that you get chills listening to.
But no, look, he's just trying to find a seam and know that, hey, I'm going to try to force it to him if he's open.
Here is Ovechkin. Shoots. He scores! He scores! Number 895!
895 career goals for Alex Ovechkin. Breaks Gretzky's record. To Gretzky's credit, by the way, Gretzky said, I will be the first dude at center ice to shake your hand if you break the record. And sure enough, he was right out there, center ice, to shake the man's hand and congratulate him. So, you know, the record goes down, but it goes down with some class. Wayne Gretzky, obviously, still one of the greatest ever. to lace him up and play. But I didn't. Is there another record in pro sports? I didn't think anybody would ever break that record. That was one of those like, and I don't know a ton about hockey, but I know that that's one of those like, oh, this is borderline unachievable. Is there a record in sports you don't think anybody will ever break?
I just think it's just one.
Okay, I could think of two.
What's your two?
My two are DiMaggio's consecutive game hitting streak, 56 games, and Pete Rose's hit record. He finished with like 4,200 career hits or something like that. And, I mean, to even get to the 3,000 hit club is a milestone that feels almost impossible in Major League Baseball. And Pete Rose somehow knocked out 4,000-plus hits. So
I think there's
I don't
one
think
more.
that's unattainable. I think it's unattainable.
What's yours?
The rushing record, Emmitt Smith's rushing record.
All time?
All time. I think the way the game is gone, the way a lot of teams run a two-back system, and we're in such a passing league now, I think it's going to be hard to break that record.
Okay. I got one that's going to top all yours.
Oh, go for it.
Michael Phelps gold medals.
What has he got, 23 or something like that? 23 or 24? It's something ridiculous.
He's got he's won he's been in Olympics 6 times, and he's won 4 gold medals per Olympics. So he's something ridiculous, man. They was talking about it. I'm like, good gracious. So Michael Phelps gold medals would never be held. There's no way somebody's going. Because think about that.
23. He's got 23 gold
23?
medals. Yeah.
Think about that. Olympics are held every 4 years.
Every 4 years. He's got 28 total medals. By the way.
He got 28 total medals. So you think about it, you got to be phenomenal, but not for just 1 year, 2 years. Look at that. I don't know how to count that good, but I know that's 16 years right there. You got to be fucking
That's an Alabama grad right there, folks.
You think about that, man. You have to be successful for 3 off years and then come back that year and do your thing again. It's like what Michael Phelps did was fucking incredible.
It's unbelievable. Let me ask you about another one. And I don't know if it's fair. Do you count the home run record for Barry Bonds?
Yeah. And the reason I say I do, because we talked about it where you had some guys took the same shit Barry did and then hit the home runs. It boils down to you got to have some type of damn talent. Just because you go out there and you take, I'm just saying allegedly, take something, that don't mean you're going to be able to perform at a high level. You still got to have, because think about it, before he started being accused of everything, that was still putting him out the park. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he was.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Because I feel like that's probably one that never gets broken, right?
Yeah, it'll never get broken. My thing with Barry is, the thing that frustrates me about him is him taking it, but him already being great before it. Like Barry was undoubtedly, if not the best baseball player in the league, definitely one of the best baseball players in the league before he ever took it. Barry was stealing bases. He was doing everything. And so even though it was fun to see him, Sammy, Mark McGwire, those guys in that home run era, 60 home runs, 70 home runs, those guys like
had
that.
What, 73 or something like that?
Something like that. I don't dispel the home run record for Barry, but I don't know. It almost does a disservice to someone like Hank Aaron, who did it the right way and did it the old-fashioned way, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because we honor Hank Aaron, here, especially here in Atlanta, every year. Matter of fact, we just got done honoring him, a couple of days ago? The anniversary of
715. By the way, it was Barry Bonds who hit 73. My bad.
Right.
Weird. Barry Bonds has the single-season home run record at 73.
Right.
McGwire hit 70.
So how about, it's weird. Nobody's ever, as all these shows we talk about this. What about LeBron's record for most points? Think of how long Kareem had it.
Yeah.
LeBron, I guess we can't talk about it because we don't know where the number is going to stop because LeBron's still playing. But shit, just 50,000 points in a career. That's a lot of damn points. What player out there? Maybe Luka. But Luka, I ain't seen Luka play in 20 years because his body ain't going to hold it up. But that's what you got to add into all these guys of scoring all these points as longevity has crept into the mix. But that's incredible too, man.
I just thought of another one.
What?
Cal Ripken Jr.'s consecutive games played, the Ironman.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like 22 or 2,300 consecutive games played without missing a game? I don't know if that ever happens again. That's another one that I don't think you'll ever beat. I don't think you'll ever beat it. Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot that feel unattainable.
I'm gonna add this, and then we can. Let me just say this: for every guy out there that has a record and they say this stupid shit, records were meant to be broken or lying their asses off. You never want your record broken. So if you say that, you full of shit.
Yeah, but I think.
When you say I'm happy they broke my record, you a damn lie.
Oh,
man.
No one is happy to see it. No.
That is a liar.
But I don't think that. Originally, I don't think that's what that statement is meant for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, records are meant to be broken, technically.
I know, but you don't want yours broken.
Oh, of course not. You know.
Hell no.
No, you don't. But, hey.
Hey, let me
like
just say this. I had a record after I beat Kareem, and then Fish broke my record. I was like, you motherfucker. And then LeBron broke it. You fucker. I'm like, and I only hate one time in my life. And that happens every playoff. Yeah, when someone gets close to breaking my steals record, I be hating like a motherfucker. Don't you break my record.
What is it? What's the steals record?
Seven steals in the game in the NBA Finals. I'm like over here hating like a motherfucker, boy.
Oh, boy.
Even when they get closer, I think someone tied my record for the most consecutive threes. I was like, block that shit. Block it.
That's at least real. I can relate to that.
Exactly.
No one wants to see it. Well, you have to let it go down in class. Rob's throwing sodas at the TV. Like, come on, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
Hey, did y'all see that time in Calvin Murphy when I think it was someone I think it was Price about to break his consecutive free throw record? He behind the basket throwing up a fucking shoe and shit. It was the funniest shit ever.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your record exactly? What was the record, Rob?
What?
What was the record?
That he just 7 steals in an NBA Finals game.
In NBA Finals. That was against the Orlando Magic.
You know what? We got a guy. He'll probably never see the NBA Finals.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh, so you know what I was about to talk about?
You talking about Daniels?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean
we got a guy. If he would ever sniff the
exceptional.
finals, yeah.
His
thing is like I should have had 9 in that game. Like I stole one and stepped out of bounds, so they said that didn't count. So I was like a fucking DB in that game. Give me that shit.
He's a lockdown corner. Come on, Robert Horry, lockdown corner. All right, let's do Big Shot of the Week, and then we're going to goof off with a quick game this week, and we will wrap it up. Unless there's anything else on the table that you guys want to talk about. I think we've run most of the bases. Mike Malone, are we good?
I don't give a shit.
He doesn't even care. Okay. He don't have a job. He don't give a shit. All right, let's do Big Shot of the Week then. It's going to go to an anonymous donor. It's not often I give a Big Shot of the Week to somebody whose name we don't know. But here's why. There is a baby in Florida. Her name is Millie Long Henry. She was born with no hope of survival due to a rare and severe congenital brain disorder. She spent about 2 months in the hospital. She was sent home on hospice care with 4 to 6 months to live. So she wasn't even going to see her first birthday. Her parents found out there is a neurological therapy that could help her. They worked with a doctor to get it, and sure enough, it is helping her, and she's thriving, and she's doing well. So she's really like all of a sudden responded to this, and she's gonna survive now. The problem is the parents were probably gonna have to cancel the therapy due to cost because it's not covered by insurance. So there was a patient in the hospital who remains nameless that was kind of following the story and said to the nurses station one night, hey, I want to go ahead and make a contribution to this family. I don't know how to do that. And they were like, well, I guess you could do set up a GoFundMe or something. She goes, no. I just want to make a contribution. Like, what's their current medical record tally? And they're like, it's like $47,000 they owe the hospital. She's like, great, I'm paying off their medical.
Wow.
And paid off this baby's full medical so she could continue all the therapy she needs to survive. And this child is going to live because this woman came up, didn't want her name mentioned, and paid the family's bill. And I think that's just, that's freaking amazing. So many people are like, pat me on the back. I'm going to do this, but I want credit. Nope. This lady's like, no, I'm good.
That's awesome because, especially with the situation I had to go through with my daughter.
You know it.
And seeing families who couldn't afford, the Bills and abandoning their kids in the hospital and just walking away because the Bills got too outrageous. So for this person who did this, so much love and a big shout out to you, because that's a lot. Because especially this day and age, $47,000. Oh man, that's deep. That's diving deep into your pockets.
I mean, you saved a kid's life.
Mm-hmm.
Just and I know it sounds trivial, but it's like money. It's just money. But the problem is, it's impossibly hard when you're just Rob. When you're stuck in it, you're just stuck in it. And if you ain't got the money, that's usually the deal breaker for a lot of people on these therapies.
Yeah, because I think about all the times when I sat there looking at my daughter and pick you, and if it wasn't for the NBA, I'm like, man, I saw the Bills. I'm like, golly, man. So it was bananas. So think about the families that didn't have 100% healthcare like I did. It's crazy.
Yeah, medical system's very broken, but that's probably another conversation for another day, or not this show, maybe. I don't know, but it's very broken. All right, I don't know how you're going to do in this week's game. I really don't, but we're going to give this a try. And here's why. All right, so we all love movies. We all watch a lot of movies.
I love movies.
Everybody does. I tripped across this the other day on Twitter, and it made me laugh out loud. And then you may have seen it before. There was a TV guide listing from back in the day for a classic movie that was written really weird. So the review, the description was, tune in tonight on Turner Classic Movies at 8 p.m. A woman is transported to a surreal landscape and then kills the first person she meets, then teams up with 3 strangers to kill again. And it was a description for The Wizard of Oz. And I was like, that is absolutely incredible.
It's funny how people, when they talk about this, they said that she was the bad person in this show, and nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah, that Dorothy was the villain. Yeah,
she kills, steals.
Yes, I mean she drops a house on a woman. Then when everyone gets mad at her, she's like, "Nope, I'm out," and she
steals her shoes.
Yeah, steals her shoes and leaves. Like that shit that happens in New York, man. Like that's not. What are you talking about? Where did this house land? All right, so I'm gonna give you guys. We'll go back and forth. If you don't know it, the other one can try to steal.
I think I'm gonna like this one.
I'm gonna give you a weird movie description. I'm gonna see if you can guess the movie. Okay, so we'll start with Rob. Rob, what movie is this? A man gets steroids and a colorful frisbee to fight off the Nazis. A man gets steroids and a
Captain
colorful
America.
frisbee. There you go. It's on the wall right there. Give that man a point. Where's my little correct sounder? There you go. All right, Harper. An orphan farm boy is recruited by a monk to commit intergalactic treason, kisses his sister, all while his half-dead father tries to get him to join the family business. I'll read it again.
What?
An orphan farm boy is recruited by a monk to commit intergalactic treason, kisses his sister, all while his half-dead father tries to get him to join the family business.
Oh, I thought I had it for a second.
I did too.
You might. I'm gonna lean into the word intergalactic. Here.
We're not talking about Superman, are we?
No, it's not Superman. No. Rob.
Are we talking about Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, we are not. Neither of you could pull this one. Harp, you want to try again? I'll let you go back and forth till one of you gets it, or we could just bail.
No, let me.
An orphan farm boy is recruited by a monk to commit intergalactic treason. Even kisses his sister. All while his half-dead father...
I know now.
Go ahead, Rob.
Luke Skywalker.
Star Wars. There it is.
Star
It is
Wars.
Star Wars. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. And if you think about that, he commits intergalactic treason with a monk named Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
This is an interesting game.
It's a weird... That's why I said I don't know how you'll do, but we'll have you through. All right, Rob, you're up first on this one. Mm-hmm. A mentally challenged man is taken advantage of by a drug-addicted girl over the span of 3 decades, who even goes as far as to hide his child from him.
Read it one more time.
A mentally challenged man is taken advantage of by a drug-addicted girl over the span of 3 decades, going so far as to hide his child from him.
Batman?
No, it's not Batman. Batman was taken advantage of by a drug-addicted girl for 3 decades.
Yeah, what's the Leviathan woman that had the child? Him, Damien.
Oh, you're talking about Talia al Ghul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read it one more time.
All right, one more time. Last time. A mentally challenged man is taken advantage of by a drug-addicted girl over the span of 3 decades, going so far as even to hide his child from him.
I have no clue.
All right. Rob obviously doesn't know either, so we'll bail on this one. Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. Jenny abuses him for 3 decades while she goes out and hooks up with everybody else on the planet that he finds out at the end of the movie he's got a kid.
Got it.
All right, Harper.
He ran all over the country, too.
Yeah, that's right. Harper, you might get this one. You should get this one.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh, okay. A purple man goes on a quest to end world hunger by completing his colorful rock collection.
Oh, Thanos.
Yeah, it's Infinity War.
Infinity War, yeah. I know got the character.
That's I give it to you. It counts. All right, Rob. A man saves a woman from drowning, although she refuses to return the favor by making room for him on a piece of driftwood.
Oh, I know this one.
It's the diamond, and they on the front of the boat.
You know it too. What is it?
I know it.
What's the damn name of the movie?
Come on.
I know it.
Titanic.
There it is.
I was going to say, I was hoping you wasn't going to get it.
Harper. A strange man invites kids into his workplace. 4 of them possibly die, and then he tries to rip off the 5th one by letting him use the elevator.
I thought you had it, Rob.
Rob thought he had it, then he bailed on it.
I know it.
One more time. A strange man invites kids into his workplace. 4 of them possibly die.
I think I know who it is.
And then he rips off the 5th one before letting him use his elevator.
I think I know who it is.
Harp? Any guesses?
I have no clue.
4 kids possibly die in a strange man's workplace, and the 5th one survives?
Can I say now? You give up?
My brain, I just don't know.
It ain't there, Rob.
Willy Wonka?
There it is. It is Willy Wonka. 4 of those kids die in that movie, by the way.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that much. Those kids die in that factory.
When I tell you what, I have not seen Willy Wonka in forever.
Oh, dude, yeah, neither have I, but it is. Those 4 kids are dead. Like, they're dead. Like, there's no coming back. All right, we got a couple more of these. Rob.
I like this game.
A guy and his imaginary friend take on the finance sector with a group of men who often watch him beat himself up. A guy and his imaginary friend take on the finance sector with a group of men who often watch him beat himself up.
Is it Wall Street?
No, it's not Wall Street.
What's it? Oh, no, not that. It's not Wall Street. It's the Wolf of Finance. What's the Wolf of Wall Street?
No, it's not the Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
He doesn't have an imaginary friend in Wolf of Wall Street, does he?
I just talk about that part where he does all that and he goes outside and he looks at his car and it's all fucked up.
That's right. Okay, all right. Yeah. No, that's not what happens here. Harper, a guy and his imaginary friend take on the finance sector with a group of men who often watch him beat himself up.
I know who the character is now. I know the main character. I don't know the name of the movie.
I like this game, but I suck at it.
And you don't know?
All
right, Rob, what are you thinking?
Isn't it the guy Jim Carrey?
No, it is not.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
All right, I'm going to give you this one. What's the first rule? The first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. That is Fight Club.
Fight Club.
That is Tyler Durden. That is Brad Pitt and Andrew Norton. He has an imaginary friend. He beats himself up. Spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't seen Fight Club. Is it Brad Pitt's an imaginary character?
Hey, every time I hear, what's the other guy you said?
Edward Norton?
Edward Norton, all I think was put your mouth on the curb.
Oh, jeez.
Put your mouth on the curb.
Put your mouth on the curb.
Mm-hmm.
I was
thinking that movie. What was it? It was American Gangster, American
Graffiti?
Me?
American History X.
It's one where American History X, where he was in that cult.
He was in the skinhead cult.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll do a couple more. This one's for Harper. Harper. A man goes to meet his estranged wife and kids for the holiday and ends up murdering people at her office instead. Oh, Rob knows it right away.
Yeah, I know that one right away.
A man goes to meet his estranged wife and kids for the holiday and ends up murdering people at her office instead.
Oh, I know it too, but I just can't think of it.
Can I give you a hint? I'm going to give you a hint.
Go ahead.
Greatest Christmas movie ever.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, is this hold on.
What do you mean, hold on? How about...
Damn, yippee-ki-yay.
Why does this name slip my mind?
Oh my God.
Oh man.
This hurts my soul.
This is a hard one for you, huh?
No, it's not. I just can't remember the name.
Rob,
I just can't.
Rob, put Hans out of his misery.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Come on.
Hey, I even said yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah,
This is a hard one for you. I
about
gave you 2 hits.
Much of a softball as we could throw. All right, we're going to end it, I think, on Die Hard. I got 2 more, but I don't know if you're going to get them. What you doing for the hell of it, Rob?
Okay.
An animated monster saves a woman from marrying a tiny man in an effort to evict squatters from his home. An animated monster.
Man.
An animated monster saves a woman from marrying a tiny man in an effort to evict squatters from his home.
Is this an animated movie?
Animated movie. I said an animated monster.
Okay. So, what's the thing?
Saves a woman from marrying a tiny man.
Beauty and the Beast?
No, it's not Beauty and the Beast.
Oh no, it's Shrek.
It is Shrek. Good job. It is Shrek. I don't know if you guys are going to get the last one because it's really vague, but we'll give it a try. Harper? This again? And again? And again and again and again?
This is not Guardians of the Galaxy, is it?
No.
No.
This again, Rob? And again? And again? And again and again and again and again and again?
Don't you put the evil on me.
No, it's not Talladega Nights.
I know it's not Talladega.
Put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Don't put that evil on me. I don't know. This again and again.
It's Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. This again
no,
and again
never got that.
and again and again and again and again and again.
I would have never got that one.
Please tell me you've all seen Groundhog Day.
Yes, I've seen Groundhog Day. Because he learns how to play the piano.
Yeah, I'm being underrated all-time comedy. I'm really genuinely underrated all-time comedy. But all right, well, we struggled a little bit, but I think we had fun.
We didn't really struggle. And
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you?
It's a complete crap.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. We didn't struggle.
Hey, I thought I did pretty damn good. I didn't get Forrest Gump. I got Shrek. I got Die Hard.
You came in with a few good ones. Yeah, you got some there. Yeah, welcome to the party, pal.
I got Captain America.
Yeah, colorful frisbee and Nazis. Sign me up.